This meeting is being recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another off-season suggestion show. Today we're going over the AFC East. I'm here with Moody and Isaiah. How we doing today, guys?
Hey, how y'all doing?
I've been better, Eric.
I've been better too. For the people not watching in time, Tom Brady just came back. It's brutal.
Makes sense that we're talking about the AFC East with Tom Brady back here to another bad division with one special quarterback.
So yeah, I guess going into the AFC East, we're going to start with Buffalo, coming off a very impressive playoff run that ended pretty disappointingly. We know they got a breakout superstar at quarterback, and they've got probably the best secondary.
Mm-hmm.
One healthy. Now they've got some older guys up there, and they've got some guys with some injuries. But just looking at right now, they're only sitting at about $500,000 in salary cap. I think they've already done some of this work, but definitely you're going to want to extend Stephon Diggs. It's time to give him that first ever big contract, receiver contract, because they got him from the deal he signed in Minnesota. That was a team-friendly deal before he blew up. I'm okay re-signing Hoyer and Hyde, not restructuring, re-signing. You probably take 1 or 2 years, a couple dummy years to create some more cap space. Now, I am questioning Tremaine at Terrell Edmonds or Tremaine.
Terrell's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. They're both free agents because they're from the same draft class. I don't know what his price is. Now, I think they have to re-sign him because he's the first-round pick, veteran leader of their defense. So I think they'll have to do it. But I think you could restructure Dawkins and Williams up to free up the money for Edmonds. Dawkins and Williams, I wouldn't re-sign them because they're a little bit older, and I like to keep the fat guys motivated. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to re-up or re-up them too soon. That could open up to $37 million if they tidy all that stuff away. They got to go all in. Clearly, this is one of the AFC is. It's not the time to be wanting to go all in the AFC, but unfortunately, Buffalo's here for a reason. And I think some pieces that I think I like for them, the best low-end piece that I think I like for them is Cordell Patterson. I think he'd be a great piece for that offense, a running back / receiver.
Someone's giving him a bag.
You think someone's giving him a bag?
Someone's going to offer them the bag. So you're not getting him low end.
I think you could get him for about $8 million per year.
Maybe that might creep to 10.
Maybe
because he can play receiver.
But you probably would have to give him 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So you're not giving him no big contract. You might have to give him a couple per years, but he's never cashed in. So he plays two positions. I think he's valuable. Maybe in that Deebo Samuel type of role that's becoming very popular. Now, another weapon that I think they can look at is Evan Ingram. The rumors out that they're in love with him to use as a receiver, maybe replace Cole Beasley. With Josh Allen, I'd like to see what Evan Ingram could do. If you could get him for $10 million per, I've heard the rumors that he's getting overpaid for sure too.
Josh Allen throws a hard football in cold weather. Do you really want Evan Ingram staying in that?
They like him a lot. Now,
would he take over with Knox? Because Knox was one of his favorite guys.
They're gonna eventually. Someone has to start playing Evan Ingram at slot.
So that's his natural
position.
Yeah, I think that's where they're gonna move towards having more of as like a slot receiver type. But they like him. I think he's got unblocked potential. So with Josh Allen, I like to see what type of work he could put in. And then lastly, the all-in move. There are 2 veteran type of free agents that I just think are the type of pieces that they need. One of them is Mr. Stephon Gilmore, who actually left Buffalo and has played against New England. I think he'd want to get back in New England and help Buffalo win. So if they went and got him for about $20 million per,
you would have Gilmore $20 million.
I think you have to. I think he's going to be demanding that. Now, either you could go with that approach, or you could give $20 million per to Chandler Jones, the pass rusher. So I think they need another piece in the secondary, and they need another piece in the defensive line. So they could go get an edge rusher, or they could go get a corner.
Well, not JC.
I just think he's out. I don't think they can afford him. I think he's going to demand a $100 million contract, while you could get a shorter type of deal, short window this year and next year before that Josh Allen contract kicks in. I think that's where you're going to go with that. But if they're bold, they could go both with all in. They could go get an edge and get a corner. Now, if they went with that, we're trying to go on the Super Bowl type move, which is probably what LA is going to do, probably what Cincinnati's going to do. So we'll see how all in they are and what they're about. But that's what I would do. They definitely need another piece, like I said, in the secondary on the edge, and not just another piece. They need a borderline transcendent, a star, borderline superstar type player in one of those positions to really be a contender in this AFC because it's going to be a bloodbath. Luckily for them, the division is weak, so they'll probably cakewalk into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the key for them. And like you can see their teams that are in bad divisions that kind of just play to win the division. They don't really play to win the Super Bowl. So you always got to see what teams are trying to do that. But yeah, if any year go all in, I think this is the last year that before his contract really kicks in. So yeah, definitely got to try to find a way to spend more money to get the assets in the building, because if the AFC is so nasty, not his division, but literally all the other divisions.
Luckily not their division.
Not his division, but even then,
they got New
Patriots
England
was in the playoffs.
Jets,
Miami was pretty good last year too. So even then, they're not exactly out of the woods yet. The AFC is just so tough. Yeah, I agree. They should definitely put as much assets in as they can to try to put the team around Josh Allen to make a run.
Eric, how do you feel about Buffalo?
I mean, absolutely. If you have a transcendent quarterback, you're obviously going for Super Bowls every year, so you're not trying to get worse. So like I like those moves. I think defense definitely needs to be their focus for the offseason. I mean, obviously everyone would love to get a Gilmore or a Chandler Jones, but I think in their case they definitely need to go all out and get one big guy on defense for sure.
Yeah. I guess that's it for Buffalo. Who was in second place?
New England.
New England. Yeah, they were in the playoffs. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
They
So
check punt, by the way. To this moment, I've heard.
They're all.
So yeah, New England. They have to get some secondary help this offseason. I mean, they lost Gilmore and they're going to lose J.C. Jackson. Do we trust Bill? I mean, one of their highest needs is corner, and you've let two top flight corners go. I mean, he traded a little bit for Gilmore. I think he got a 6th-round pick for him during the season because they were going to let him go anyway. I'm surprised they let J.C. Jackson walk if they weren't going to re-sign him. They also have multiple free agents: J.C. Jackson, Dante Hightower, Devin McCourty, James White, Trenton Brown, Kyle Van Noy. So they have a bevy of free agents that they could possibly re-sign, I believe. I mean, I would even try to get Devin McCourty back just because he's familiar with the system, all that stuff. Dante Hightower is also a staple of their defense that I think they could bring back without top dollar. Some target free agents. If I were the Patriots, I would try to re-sign J.C. Jackson, but it doesn't seem like they are. So yeah, defense, secondary level, safety, linebacker, definitely a weapon if he wants to pay big money for a wide receiver, but that's not the Patriots way. They have about they have about like $10 million in cap, so they can't do anything crazy for like free agency, which is probably why they're letting J.C. Jackson go. But yeah, what do y'all think?
Yeah, well, we know New England really dipped into free agency last year. They spent more money than anybody, so they would be hard pressed to try to do that 2 years in a row. Plus, that's not really Bill's style. I am also surprised that they're going to let J.C. Jackson walk. I know Bill doesn't love to pay guys, but he's young enough and has made enough plays, and I felt like he was worth keeping around and letting some other auxiliary pieces go. But this is the Bill Belichick way; it's what they like to go with. So, expecting another pretty quiet offseason from New England in terms of free agency and stuff.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is letting J.C. Jackson go. I mean, I'm going to trust Bill. He's never let a player go that's ever been good. Matthew Judon last year.
Who was decent.
Oh, no, he came to them. Who did they let go? They've let go.
Ngakoue? No, Ngakoue was in. No,
I mean, recently they let go of a pass rusher I felt like went to Baltimore and did decently. That they were tagging.
No, I can't think of one.
Okay. But usually when Bill lets a guy go, it's because he thinks it's just his scheme over the player. Now, I think J.C. Jackson's a good enough player to pay, and he's a free agent, so you know how that goes. But is he an elite superstar player without Bill Belichick's scheme? Probably not, but we'll see. What about receiver? Did you attack anything any receivers?
I mean, I think they'll more go into the draft. I mean, they have the number 21 pick, so I do think there'll be a wide receiver there for them to take. So I don't know if they'll use that money for a receiver. I think they have higher needs in the secondary that they need to address. Losing one of the McCourty twins, losing two top corners this past year. I think secondary is a bigger need for Bill as a defensive guy.
Okay. Well, that's it for New England, I guess.
Yeah, so we can go to the most dramatic team in the AFC East last year, the Miami Dolphins, with all their nonsense going on. Brian Flores, owners paying coaches to tank, all that good stuff. For this, Miami finished third last year in the AFC East. Swept Bill Belichick last year. They can always, that's their Super Bowl, pretty much enjoying that. But they had $51 million in cap space this year. Obviously, Tua's still in a rookie deal, and they don't really have a lot of talented paid players on the roster elsewhere. So it makes sense that they have a lot of money. Will Fuller's a free agent this year. Emmanuel Ogbah, their starting edge. Jacoby Brissett, a couple of their more high-profile free agents. They really don't have a lot of talented guys sitting in the market right now. Of those guys, the only guy I would recommend keeping is Emmanuel Ogbah. He's a good edge. He can play 3-4 or 4-3.
He's a prime candidate to get the most overpaid this offseason.
Probably
like an Olivia Vernon type.
People like Ogbah. People like Ogbah. Ogbah's a good player. I would try to. They have the cap space obviously, so they can keep Ogbah if they want to. But you never know how teams feel about their own guys. A couple of outside free agents. I think the most important thing for Miami is attacking the offense, specifically in the trenches and in the backfield. A couple guys I like Sony Michel, the running back from LAR. I think he would be a really good fit for them. They're taking he's from that NFC West where their coach is from. So he's going to have tape on him as well. He's shown the ability to be a guy who can handle 20-plus touches and catch the ball as well. So I think he'd be really useful for Miami, who has no talent in the backfield, really. At receiver, I went with Allen Robinson. A big body type of possession receiver is something that Tua can really use, especially in his RPO stuff on those slants and those inside routes. Just a playmaker on the outside. Devontae Parker hasn't really worked out. Will Fuller's a free agent. Preston Williams is just a guy. They really need they need to upgrade the talent on that offensive skill position group. It's one of the worst in the league. And I think Allen Robinson would be going back to Florida would be pretty big for them. Definitely. But the key is on the offensive line. I told him to go throw it back at Teron Armstead is what I think that's what they need to be doing first and foremost. Got to address the offensive line. Got to keep
Tua. He fit that scheme really like a Trent Williams type of fit. The run block. Got
to keep Tua upright. You need a guy like this. I also say, in addition to throwing a bag of Teron Armstead, also throw a bag of Brandon Scherf.
You got to get both.
You got to give them both the money that they're at, 15, 20 million, whatever you got to do to readdress this offensive line, and not have to do it in the draft because clearly they can't draft offensive linemen. They tried over and over again. None of them have really worked up to be good players. Give them some veteran help up there so you can invest more in the skill position players and up front on defense in the draft. But
the draft is deep into that. Yes. Yeah, so.
Exactly. And last but not least, on the defense, linebacker need. I said Foye Oluokun from Atlanta. I thought he'd be a good piece for that. He's really good in coverage. He could play man and zone.
He's getting $15 million. I've seen some contract.
People like him. He's still only 26, 27. He's more of a pass coverage linebacker, but he really improved as a run defender last year, which was Miami's weakness. They need help all over the roster, really, especially at the skill positions in the front seven on defense.
Yeah, Miami. I think another team with lots of money, so I think they got to re-sign Gesicki because I think he could be valuable to them. I think he fit that.
They tagged him, so he's back now.
Just re-sign him, get him on for the long run. But like you said, offensive line definitely would be nice to get. I don't know about Ogbah because he is a 4-3 end, but actually he looked the best though. He looks like a 4-3 end, but he looked best in Brian Flores' hybrid 3-4 scheme. The Bill Belichick system. So
as I say, I think he could play either.
But he's that's why it's weird with the new guys coming in. I think he won't be back. I just think that he'll price himself out of the market. A new regime won't like him as much as he won't be back. But definitely, if they could get Armstead and Sharif, that would change their offensive line for sure. I'm sure those two guys are the most prized two possessions on the free agency market. So that's why this is like the fifth division we've done, and those guys come up because if you have offensive line need. Those are two guys that could fit. And you could just look at what Andrew Whitworth did for the Rams. Like, if you get a guy like that, he could fill in a preem position for the future. And I think they're good in the secondary. I think they're definitely need some more help in the interior and defensive line, like you said. But I think you could build that and do that in the draft. I don't know what type of receivers they're going to want for their system. I think they also want to do that in the draft. There's a guy that's being compared to Deebo Samuel. That might be a guy they want to put, probably being that they got Mike McDaniels from San Francisco. So we'll see what they do. I think you could put that off to the draft, but definitely the offensive line. They got to walk away with at worst the secondary guys like the Daniels kid from Chicago.
Tomlinson. Tomlinson from San Fran. That would be a good guy too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for Miami.
Yeah, I agree. Offensive line definitely needs to be addressed. With having a top three, like most cap space, I mean, they definitely can make a move. I don't know if they're getting both of those guys. That's definitely a big stretch to ask. But we've seen it before, so it's definitely in the realm of possibilities. But a running game, I think, is also big for them to establish. Tua did his great work at Alabama with a dominant run game. So I think when you have a run game that can complement his throwing ability, that's when he's at his best.
All right, now we can move on to the annual bottom feeders of the AFC East.
I got to do both teams in New York. Yay. I'll have more fun during the draft. But yeah, the Jets, what more can I say? They've got a rookie quarterback that people believe could be Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes type level. He actually was probably the most impressive of the rookie quarterbacks of the last back half of the season. So he showed some flashes, he showed some things. But I like their coaches. I like Salah and what's LaFleur's younger brother? I think it's Ryan. Who knows?
It could be whatever.
It's
basically.
Matt LaFleur's younger brother as their offensive coordinator running that Shanahan zone scheme. And I mean, they seem like they're going the right way, but we've seen the Jets seem like they're going the right way a lot of times, and then things just go wayward. That town, the media can eat people alive, so they kind of have to start turning around and making things happen this year. They've got Morgan Moses up, Keenan Cole, Jameson Crowder, got a couple special teams a player I liked a lot, and I'm going to be sure to bring back in Braxton Berrios. I think he's a perfect receiver returner type, and I'm willing to give him about $10 million over 3 years. That's a good return. I think he came up I think New England drafted him. I think he's had some couple stops from other places, but he held on with the Jets. I think he's a really effective player. I've liked him since his days back in Miami at the U. Other free agents is Marcus May and Gerard Davis on the defense, Tevin Coleman, Joe Flacco, who are some veteran leadership type players. And also they re-signed LaMarcus Jordan before he hit the market. So they were going to bring him back already. They've got lots of money because they don't have anything, and they've got lots of people to restructure if they have to. But I will say they've got two of the worst contracts. The defensive lineman, Carl Lawson, along with the linebacker, CJ Mosley. So they have two players who have been paid lots of money and
giving them absolutely nothing.
That's tough. But I think, they got to keep.
Can they get off Mosley yet? Are they able to?
No, he opted out. Don't forget, he opted out 1 year.
Yeah. So he's only been there for
2 years, both. 3 years total, and nothing out of 3 big signing years. So I mean, other than Berrios like this, you guys got to attack talent because they have nothing. So guys, scheme fits, of course. They could chase a corner, Carlton Davis for cheaper, because I think if they're not going to be able to bring in multiple guys. So if they bring in Carlton Davis or J.C. Jackson, pit him against Bill Belichick, that's what people in the AFC East would probably use as a negotiating tactic for J.C. Jackson to come back to their team. Both for value from 18 to 20 million, they have the space. Marcus Williams is the guy I think they should overpay. He would fit the Shanahan cover 4, cover 2 scheme perfectly. I got him down here for 5 years, 90 million. A little bit over than what Landon Collins got when he signed for the Washington football team. This is a guy that probably be worth that money. He's one of the best split half safeties in the league, and he's been tagged before. So, that's more negotiating power. Allen Robinson for $10 million, because I'm not a big believer in what Allen Robinson has remaining, but if you could get him for $10 million per 2 years, 3 years.
Gallup just signed for 12.5. There's no way you could you could talk to Allen Robinson and be like, yeah, here, bro.
I don't know what his value is, but that's where I'm value at. I wouldn't give him anything. I wouldn't give him anything more unless it's like a little bit more, like up to 10 to 12. But I don't have him value too high. I had Michael Gallup on the list, but he resigned today. So take him off anyway. But a guy that they can throw a bag at is Christian Kirk, 4 years, $100 million. He's the explosive slot type of receiver.
Did you say 4 years, $100 million for Christian Kirk?
This is free agency.
The Jets had to do that. You want the Jets to do that?
I think
you hate the Jets like that.
Move. That's a bad move. That's a Jets move, but that's a bad move.
That's the contract Max Crosby just signed for. He Max Crosby? No. He worth that kind of money?
But luckily Max Crosby didn't hit the market. If Max Crosby hit the market, he could have got 120. Oh, man. That's what we all know what free agency is.
It's the best moves you make and the moves you don't make.
It's where bad players get paid like average players players go to get paid like good players, and good players go to get paid like great players. And great players never hit the market.
Want to get paid like a future Hall of Famer.
No, it's 25 per. What did Gallup just get?
12 and a half. He's
And I think
double.
Christian Kirk's a better
He's
receiver.
double. He's worth double.
No, I just think he doesn't have a torn ACL. Exactly. So yeah, and you have to overpay in free agency when you're a bad team. So account for you're not getting these guys for cheap on the Jets. And then Connell Williams for about 15 per. 3 for 45. I think they have to get him or James Daniels on that offensive line because they have a tackle and Becton
Tucker
and Elijah Vera Tucker, who's shown that they have the left side on lock. But Moses and
who's a free agent.
They got Fant from the Seahawks.
I think they'll address tackle in the draft. I also one of their big picks.
Yeah, correct. I believe you could address tackle in the draft. So go get an interior guy. That's why. But that's about it for the Jets. Overpaying and filling holes because they have money and they're far away.
I think as a Giants fan, you're just trying to bury the Jets. That's what it sounds like with that.
That's what I've heard that Christian Kirk is getting. That's what I've heard he's getting.
But as far as the Jets go, we know their talent is everywhere. Their needs are everywhere. Running back, receiver, whatever you want to call it. They can really,
actually not running back.
I do like to what's the guy? Michael Carter. I do like Michael Carter. They didn't seem to like him as much as they.
No, he actually got burnt, or they were protecting like Javonte Williams. It's a bad team.
Don't even run him into the ground. I understand that. But yeah, as far as the Jets go, love Robert Saleh. Love the job that I think he's capable of doing that he did with the Niners a couple years ago, helping them get to the Super Bowl. But the Jets. I think the most important thing always for a team, especially a team with a rookie quarterback, is helping the quarterback. That's got to be priority number one, whether it be a receiver, tight end, or an offensive line. Got to throw big money at that position. So I definitely, Connor Williams, I guess if that's the only level of player they're able to obtain, because no one wants to go play for the Jets, then I guess you could throw Connor Williams 15, but they probably should be aiming a little bit higher for like a core bet.
I think they want a young. The thing is, I think they want a younger guy.
It's like a core better Kappa who are like 27-year-olds.
Yeah.
You talk
about
James
Daniels. But no reason for
too.
Lakeland Tomlinson or.
No reason to go. They shouldn't be signing old guys.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be signing old guys. So definitely got to help on the offensive line. I definitely also think. I mean, I like Corey Davis, but you got to get another playmaker.
They have Corey Davis and they've got Elijah Moore, who actually had a decent rookie year. So
Luis Barrios.
And then Barrios who will be your slot guy. He's a free agent, but I'd bring it back.
Sound like you got three guys who are better in the slot.
I think Elijah Moore is an outside guy. I think Christian Kirk's an outside guy.
I think you got to get another guy on the outside, a bigger body type who can go win some physical one-on-one matchups, because that's what the QB needs, a guy who can go out there and make plays on inaccurate throws. So Allen Robinson, I think they would be a great addition for them as well. But yeah, the Jets just
also to interject at that point. I think the reason all these tight ends got tagged is because they really need a tight end.
Yeah, but no one wants to give up their tight ends.
So that's kind
all the tight ends got tagged.
That's probably why they got tagged. 2 teams in the AFC alone. So
it's a deep tight end class too. It's a deep tight end class. So you could work on that in the draft.
Anything else about the Jets, Eric?
They're bad. Yeah, please. All I gotta say is please don't draft Kyle Hamilton. I don't want the Jets to ruin Kyle Hamilton. That's all I ask.
Oh, what a way to end the video.
All right, that's
Jets
it for the
don't ruin
AFC
nobody.
East.
All right, catch y'all next time.